Hello all, it's Dave from Talking Wolves. I'm here with Tom Rouse and Michael. How's it going?
Very well,
good?
thank you.
Good, it's good to have you on. It's a real pleasure to have you here today.
Nice
We're
to
going to be
be here.
talking plenty about Wolves, your book that you've got going on at the moment. We'll start off with that. Viva Nuno. What's it all about? And just last season, life as a Wolves fan, everything.
Yeah, it's an eclectic look
Yeah.
at what happened during the season. The highs and the lows, all the madness, observations about what was going on, trying to make some sense out of it all, failing miserably sometimes in the book. You'll get to parts that you think, what's he on about? What's he going on about? And then other parts where you think, yeah, man, that's exactly what it's right. But that's what the book's all about. It's like a crazy look at what happened in a crazy season.
So your blogs that you were doing sort of last season, is this just almost like an extended version of those blogs, or do you think this is a bit more formal, a bit more fun?
Yeah, it's the when I first started doing the blogs, they were originally going to be notes for the book, because I thought a book would be funny. I was stuck on another book that I was doing, not non-football related, and I got to an impasse with it, and I thought, I need some kind of creative madness going on. I'm going to write about football. I'm passionate about it. It'll like blast that writer's block right out of the way, and maybe kick off the original book that I was doing. And so yeah, the blog was notes, and as soon as the season finished, Sunderland, I was up in South Shields, lying on an hotel bed, thinking, right, as soon as I get back, I've got to start the book. And what the book is basically all the unedited parts of the blog, the parts that I took out when I posted the blog. It's there in its naked glory.
How long did it take you to write? Is it a long thing? So, obviously you got plenty of it from throughout the season when you've been writing it.
Yeah.
And then after Sunderland, so you decided to do it.
Yeah.
So how long did it take to put together then?
Well, I had the blog,
Yeah.
the blog posts. I had notes that I took, so I collated it all together. Then I sat down with a glass of whiskey, laptop, and I thought, I'm just going to go through it. And it took about probably 3 weeks of hard work, doing 12-hour days on it.
Yeah.
To get it into some sort of shape.
So,
I was just going to say, if thinking back over last season though, if that's what the book is about, which, on a personal level, what was your highlight of the season?
Bristol City.
Yeah.
That last minute winner. I was extremely drunk. We've been out all day.
Not in Bristol.
Yeah, Bristol was madness. It was. I was drunk. I was watching beautiful football, but more than the football that was being played, I just thought when Danny Batt got sent off, I had this little hollow feeling that was like, oh
Here we go
man,
again.
it's all going to go wrong
Yeah.
now. But then we never lost shape. We continued to play exactly the same game, pressing, discipline within the team. Them balls were still being pinged around beautifully.
Yeah.
And I thought, at the end of that game, when we walked away, outside the ground, I thought, we promoted. You needn't go to another game now. This is it. I've never seen that kind of football.
It was the first time, I think, that season that we had to show any character, because losing the captain and then the manager so quickly in the game. Nuno had learnt as well, because he had Cody sent off, hadn't he, against Sheffield United, and we lost the game from that point. But to change the game so quickly, and as you said, carry on playing the same way, then it was sort of repeated itself in Middlesbrough and Cardiff, those games where we had to show character.
Yeah.
That was the first time, and I remember people singing "We're Going Up"
Yeah.
before New Year.
In the concourse as well.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. Everybody knew.
Yeah.
It was some like kind of a metaphysical understanding between everybody that was in the ground at the time, seeing it's like, this is it.
Yeah.
Because how many times we've seen it go absolutely wrong in the past? Just like,
Yeah, that's it. Even I remember after the Norwich game in February, thinking we've messed it up from closer in than this.
Yeah,
We're still going to mess it up.
yeah.
But yeah.
But we did it. We were there. So that was the point where I thought, sexiness is happening. We're going up.
I said last week when we spoke to Tim Nash, I said you could ask 20 Wolves fans and they could give you 10 different moments from the season, because there's Bristol City, Cardiff, Middlesbrough. even obviously the promotion.
You
It's
go back to like the Burton game, because the previous season, I think did we lose at the Pirelli, or we certainly lost to Burton at some point last
Kitely
season.
scored, didn't he? I think.
Just little moments like that when you think we wouldn't have done that in the past, and this is a new.
But it was all different. But then again, I think it was due to the fact that with Lambert, remember we won at Liverpool. Brilliant game.
Yeah.
Oh, how did we play? It's beautiful. Then we had Burton, and I knew damn well we'd lose. We would lose. I knew it. As soon as the players came out, I thought, because with the FA Cup game against Liverpool, they kind of had some kind of a quasi philosophy that they could progress. Let's play well. Let's beat them, which they did. But then when they went back into the league game the next week against Burton, they didn't have anything to grab onto.
Back to the
Back to
grind,
square one
back
again.
to,
It's just work again. They've been on holiday.
Yeah.
They've had a great time. Back to work.
Yeah.
And failed miserably. Terrible time that was. Horrible game that was.
Yeah.
I walked out of there sad. Sad face.
That's why it's good though. Nuno, it just seems everything is just so organised, so structured. It's just positive for the future.
He's calm as well all the time, isn't he? But you'd think that behind closed doors he could probably lose his rag. Big time,
He gets angry. He's passionate.
Yeah.
When you look at his background, he comes from an island off the coast of Africa, which is like a crossroads between slavers, plantation owners. They've got like probably 12, 13, 14 different disparate nationalities on that island. So it's a highly diverse, dynamic island that it comes from. Now that transfers into the kind of person that you are as well. So he'd be like, he'd welcome anybody in. He hasn't got any issues about anybody from any nationality or culture. And I think what he does, he's melded them all together into an awesome looking team. And I think where he comes from has a lot to do with that as well. Yeah. And a lot of what he's had to deal with in his career as well. Totally.
So I think going back to the book though, obviously Viva Nuno. It take long to come up with that name.
Well, I kind of bandied a few around, you know what I mean? It was going to be like doing a few crazy titles coming up, but I'll be brutally honest with you. I had to give my graphical design dude a title to work with. So within like 10 seconds, I thought about it. I thought that'll do.
Yeah.
There you go, mate.
But it seems to be doing well at the moment.
It's doing extremely well.
So
extremely well.
Amazon, you got your own copies that you're selling as well. What's the general sort of feedback been? Been mainly positive, or literally everything positive? Or is
when I do the blog,
Yeah.
there's a comment section on it where I suppose people can give. I get loads of awful comments on there of fans of other teams. There is some criticism of the blog being quite, eclectic again, and a little bit out there. This isn't a book that you'd normally read. This isn't a football book.
Yeah.
It is a football book, but it's about more than football. Yeah. And some people have, well, the majority of them, I'd say 98% people absolutely love it. A few people don't get it.
It's just
but that's cool. Don't buy it.
Yeah. I mean, it's worldwide now, isn't it? So,
worldwide.
But where's the craziest place that you had contact off people in different countries?
Oh, where was that? I had an email off a dude. Now, where was he from? It wasn't Alaska, but it was an island around that area. And he sent me an email, and he said it was brilliant. He thought it was about American football.
He bought it by mistake.
Yeah.
He bought it by mistake, and he read it. And he wrote me a long email saying he wanted to come over here to watch a match now. Groove to it and see what it was all about. So, has it transferred over to different cultures? Massively. There's people all over the world reading this book, so... It's a bit weird because I'm in Pan Stretcher down there a lot in that book, man, looking at Fray Bentos boys and talking to crackheads down the canal. So these people are reading all that stuff, which I never thought of when I wrote it.
So the other part of the title is about the Chinese Revolution, isn't it, in Wolves? So where do you think the revolution's going to end?
When you look at Fosun as a business entity, right, and you think about... let's look at Tony X at Villa and Albion's owner, the AstroTurf man.
The 12-year-old.
Yeah, the small child. They've made a lot of money. They've bought British football clubs, but when you look at Fosun and let's not look at the Fosun and Wolves relationship for a minute. Let's just look at the relationship they've got with business and global business. Their ideas are very, very diverse. They're investing in blockchain technology. They're investing in artificial intelligence. They're investing in cryptocurrencies. But other than that, they're investing in like think tanks, different academic kind of groups that are working to see how they can assimilate AI into the normal world. Now, these are really, really complex ideas and really complex investments as well. They're looking to the future immensely, and I think we've got a company that's engaged with Wolves. That their vision is like massive, and I don't think we can quite get our heads around what it's all about and how big their vision actually is. But their vision's massive, and it's up to us to try and struggle to understand what it's actually about. And then once we do that, then we can get a better idea of how everything's going. You know, but yeah, it's a highly complex thing.
What about for you then? Where do you think in 2 or 3 years' time Wolves will be?
Well, we're a year ahead of schedule now. We really shouldn't have been promoted. The playoffs would have been a good result for us compared to the season with Lambert. So we're a year ahead, which means all the plans that I think they had a 3 or 4 year plan. We're now ahead of schedule. We've had to like kind of really think heavily about what we are going to invest in player wise. I think we did that in October last year. I think everybody sat down and Nuno said, I'm going to need this bloke, this bloke, this bloke and this bloke. Approach them, see if they're interested, and then I'll talk to them, and then I'll expound my philosophy to them to get them to come here. You know, and I think we're going to be playing Champions League football in probably 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually won the league this year, to be honest.
Really?
Massively. I really believe that. We're unstoppable. Watching them at Warsaw the other day, this is Ajax.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's farted again.
I was going to ask.
That's the dog, not me. Oh man. Yeah, Champions League football within 2-3 years, easily. That's where I see us.
As a Wolves fan who's grown up through the 90s and the early 2000s, that's not even a thing that I can even think about. When you started going in the early 70s?
72.
Right? So you've seen us playing in European competition?
Yeah, I've seen Juventus down there.
So would you compare this team? Well, people have already compared it to that team of the 70s. Would you say it's better, or is it? Has football changed so much that you can't really compare it?
Yeah, you can't compare either of them. I was talking to Kenny a bit. I was talking to Kenny at the weekend.
You just pick that name up.
Me and Ken were talking, and he was talking a bit about them games that he used to play in the 70s. I remember seeing them players, watching them every week, talking to them as well, because you can talk to them. I used to deliver newspapers to the Molly when I was a kid. So I knew all them players. I watched the football. Can you extrapolate that team into the modern team now? No, I don't think you can. I think it's two completely different things. This idea that we've got going on now, this philosophy, the quality of the players that we're bringing in is completely different. Completely different.
I think the team now, I mean, there's so many rumours coming around as well. So winning the league, do you think it would be on the Leicester level, as in that many people surprised, I mean,
because what you got to remember is that we're an unknown quantity to a lot of players and teams and managers in the Premier League. We're completely off their radar, so we've built secretly a force that once we put it into that arena on August the 11th, is it Everton? They're going to be extremely shocked at what they see. They're going to think it's going to be like I mean, for instance, imagine Cardiff's first game, right?
People know what to expect on it from.
You know what football Cardiff play? It's going to be unimaginative, rubbish oof ball, big throw-ins, elbows in the throat. You know, you can't do that in the Premier League. No. They're gonna get a few wins, Cardiff are, purely on that Warnockian lack of idea, that abstractness. But we're going to be like a thief in the night in a lot of games. They're not going to expect us to hit them hard, and we're going to hit a lot of teams hard, starting August the 11th.
Do you think there's anything we need to change from last year to adapt to the Premier League, or do you think we are? Lots of people have said that we're ready.
Premier League ready.
But I think we need more up front. I think we need more clinical finishing.
You're kind of I understand that. I think we were a Premier League side last year, and we probably would. That team would probably stay safe in the Premiership. We wouldn't get relegated. But now with these additions coming in, I don't see a striker role as being important massively. I don't. Not with like the movement of our front three. I can't see it. I think the idea of having a striker is quite an old idea. You know, a bit old school. Football's changed massively now. We got goals from everywhere last year.
So I mean, I think the goals will be shared out. I think it's better for us to have 3 or 4 players that can get 10 goals each, rather than one person can get 15 and no one else in the team can score.
Agree completely.
So, but I think that's how Wolves will go. It's like Jota. He was very well. He played sort of the front middleman role, but he was the top goal scorer. And if Costa played the majority of the season, Cavallero, they all chipped in a good amount of goals. And I think if Wolves, I'd assume they might sign another attacker. Add a few more goals there, and I still think Jota might bag another 10 this year, along with the others as well. So.
Yeah, I've been critical. Yeah, and hypercritical because of how good they've been. You can't argue that they've been a fantastic team, but I think Jota in the Championships should have scored 30 goals. The chances he had, and the number of times he got through 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. But that being said, was he 20, 21?
It's his first season.
Yeah.
So,
and he got kicked to bits, didn't he? For most of it.
He was in pieces, but he got himself back up. I mean, I'm not going to pull Jota's string, but back to the original discussion that we're having. If we bought an out-and-out striker, a proper number 9, he wouldn't be there because we're changing tactics, and we're going to play 2 at the front. He'll be there purely because it'll be another string to our bow. Yeah. So we're playing 3 at the front. We're not having any success with it. So how about put our number 9 on and change the formation a little bit? They did that at Walsall in the first half. The formation changed all of a sudden, and players were like sticking to their area or moving into other areas, and that change from one tactic to another was absolutely flawless, and not a lot of people realised what was happening when they were watching it.
But that is what we lacked last season. Every time we moved from that 3-4-3, we just, like the Forest game at home, we just went to pot and we couldn't make anything.
He tried changing formation, didn't he, at one point? I think he went 4 at the back at one point in that game, but it just didn't work, did it? No.
They were so drilled in that 3-4-3 that they couldn't move through it.
I think Nuno might have looked at that because we lost a few games not many, but we lost a few games where we just kind of, our ideas were that strong, they were that loud that it just overblared everything else. You know, it was too crazy. Now I think we'll be a lot more refined in what we do, especially with the players that we're bringing in. They're quality players, you know, who can adapt and change and understand what the manager's saying to them. You know, could you imagine having the Cardiff squad in front of you and saying, look, we've got to play it this way, we've got to play it that way, and they'd be like, what are you saying to us? We don't understand. So Colin.
You think the team obviously will have a decent finish this year? What about the players themselves? Like, who do you think will be a star player for Wolves this year? Out of the players, like the squad we've got so far.
I think with the difference in Premiership football, the extra space you get, the more protection. I think you're going to see Jota shine. I can see that coming. I can see Neves having a great time, but you can't really pick out individual players, you know, with this team because they are a team. They work as a solid unit, and anybody that gets put in there has to learn to play and adapt to what the team wants rather than what an individual player wants. So it's hard to pick one out. Really hard to pick one out.
think hopefully it'll be a successful season. So obviously we're going all the way back to the book. You've had a few events, haven't you, with the book?
Yeah, crazy ones.
So was the one with Kenny the other day? Kenny Hivitz.
That was nice. Garden party at Jeff's house in sunny Shropshire. That was good. It was nice to see Kenny and have a chat with him. It was nice to see Telford Wolves as well. They're a lovely bunch of people. We had a great time. Flogged a few books, but the books weren't important. It was just the fact that you could talk to people.
Of course, yeah.
Because I dumped all the books on a table and then walked off to do something else, and chat to people that I knew. So I wasn't actually doing any signings. I've never done a signing before. How do you do a signing? You know.
Yeah.
So I just went off chatting to everybody. But a more successful one was when I parked the van outside the North Bank and I said, I'm there.
Yeah,
Come up, have a chat, buy a book, I'll sign it, put a message in there. Man, we had a great time in the car park. It was fantastic. Book signings are weird things.
Yeah.
Strange.
So you got anything else planned or short term or not at the moment?
No, I haven't. I don't plan anything. I'll just let everything just happen as kind of a organic flowing thing. So if I do another signing, it'll be in the van, back of the North Bank.
Yeah, that's the one.
Come and get at me and I'll sign it, and we'll flog a few.
We'll make sure. Where's the best places for if people watching the video don't want to get a copy? Where's the best place for them to get it?
Here.
Yeah.
Because what people have been doing, I've said, come round my house, have a cup of tea. Because if you buy the book, man, have a cup of tea, have a chat. Let the dogs run around like lunatics. Say hello to my dogs, have a book, because you'll get more of a good idea of what the book's about if you're actually sitting in that seat there, chatting to me about it and buying one.
I'll make sure I put the Twitter link so people can
put a link up.
Message you instead of just turning up to the house. Anyway.
Yeah,
don't your address in
don't do that. My dogs will have you.
But is there plans in the future for any more sort of books?
Volume 2.
Volume 2 of that one, yeah.
First chapter's already done.
Is it?
Premier League winners.
Yeah, that's it.
Second chapter.
Well, I've already got the title sorted out, and it's going to have chapters this time because people were getting a little bit confused. There's no chapters in that book, and there's none. To read that book, you've got to be half drunk, sitting down in your chair, open it up, and then just have a read and have a can of beer there or a bottle of wine and get leathered reading it. And then when you get to the end of it and you've out your head, and you can throw it on the floor and go to bed quite happy, and then you've lived the book. It's an experience, that book is. It's not like a book.
It's gonna be. Hopefully, it does as well as the first one as is doing.
So far. I hope so.
Yeah. So, obviously, I spoke about the feedback earlier on. I know you probably wouldn't take it personally, but what's probably the most negative? Has there been any negative?
Yeah, there's been a few negative ones, but on Amazon, I think there's 2 or 3 quite negative.
Are they constructive or not?
Nah, not really. No, one of them was a Wolves fan, but he was a Liberal Democratic councillor from somewhere. And you click on their profile picture and you look at them and they're like, and you can tell what your life's like. I mean, who goes on Amazon and gives a negative review about anything? I've never done that. If I'm not going to enjoy it, then I'll just think, oh man, that was a waste of whatever money it was, and then just put it on the bookshelf and that's it. But to actually write something negative is crap, to be fair.
So, were they 1 stars or 3 stars?
There were 3, so... I mean, I bet it really killed him to put the 3 stars on there, to be honest with you. But I didn't know about it, but somebody contacted me on Twitter and they said, you've had a negative review. This is where he lives, and there was a photo of him on there. I thought, man,
there's a dress.
Yeah, I'm not going to track him down and aggravate him. How dare you give me a bad review? It's like, who cares?
As long as you don't take it to personally anyway. So
I'm not bothered.
Perfect. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Talking Wolves.
Nice to be here.
Social links for Michael down in the description. All our social links in the description as well. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you do, click like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all soon.